guys, if this is your first time to my channel, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Emily and today I am bringing you another pay or stay away. If you hear anything going on in the background, my boyfriend is playing Shaq Fu and he cannot be interrupted. So let's go ahead and hop on into the new makeup releases this week, and good lord am I excited to talk about this first one. So as we know, everyone has been asking Sugarpill to make new eyeshadows, single eyeshadows, not palette eyeshadows. There is definitely a big quality difference, but everyone has been asking them for new single eyeshadows forever. I don't know when Sugarpill first came out with their single eyeshadows, but I know it was a pretty long time ago. I'm gonna assume maybe 2014, maybe even earlier. All I know is that people want new Sugarpill eyeshadows, and they keep releasing limited edition palettes every now and then, and I have heard just nothing but kind of mediocre things about those. I mean, the Little Twin Stars palette was right up my freaking alley. I love Sanrio, I love Cinema Roll, I love Little Twin Stars, and I heard that palette wasn't amazing. Now, I almost bought it for the packaging, and do not do that. Don't do it. It's bad, okay? Because you're not going to use it, and you're just going to stare at the packaging and think, okay, well, that was a waste of my damn money. But I thought it was super, super cute, but no one wanted the palettes. That's what I'm trying to get at here. After rambling, no one wanted the palettes really because they're not up to par with the single eyeshadows, and it seems like they've just been releasing these things that people don't really want. I mean, they released the liquid lipsticks, and that's okay, I guess, but when people think Sugarpill, they think bright, colorful, matte eyeshadows. Well, have I got some good news for you. There are some photos going around of the Sugarpill lab and what they are cooking up in the kitchen at the lab there. And I don't know about you guys, but when I look at this black and white photo, seems to me like they might be making some more single eyeshadows. So if they do that, then they have granted all of our prayers, and I will be so happy and thankful to them. And I am absolutely going to pick up a lot of them because I love Sugarpill shadows. So many people love Sugarpill shadows, and it just sucks that their palettes aren't up to par with the rest of their formula as far as consistency goes and whatnot. Because, dude, if that Little Twin Stars palette would have been good quality, I would have dropped my coin on that. But I am more than willing to drop my coin on some single shadows from Sugarpill, and it does look like these are going to be coming sometime in summer. Now, it is technically summer now, but we still have a couple months, so that could be 2 days from now, that could be 2 months from now. So we're just gonna have to keep our ears open and see, but I will definitely keep you guys updated on that because I am so excited, and I just had to start off this video with that amazing news. So moving on to the next new makeup release on the pay or stay away list here, we have something new from Drunk Elephant. This is the Dbronzi Anti-Pollution Serum. Now, I'm not sure if this is a self-tanner. I would assume that it is kind of like a self-tanner and serum in one that you put on your face, doesn't clog your pores, and makes your skin tan without having to go into the sun and risk getting melanoma, which I appreciate that because I am someone who does put fake tanner on my face. I mean, let's face it here, I really haven't done it this entire year of 2018, but I used to be very adamant about putting self-tanner on my face. I do self-tan my body, and I don't know what it is, but I'm just so scared to put self-tanner on my face nowadays because I'm scared it's gonna break me out. Now, I've heard horror stories about people putting very strongly fragranced products on their face and waking up with a bazillion little white bumps everywhere, and I think ever since Kathleen Lights had the incident with her skin where she just started breaking out of nowhere, I've been really hesitant to put very fragranced or products that I'm just not so sure about whether or not they're gonna break me out. And Drunk Elephant is a very, very well-known brand here in the beauty community, and they seem to be very loved. Now, I have not bought anything from Drunk Elephant. This is another situation where I really can't even afford to even be speaking about this product. You know, when these expensive products come out, to be honest, I should just ignore them and pretend like they don't exist because I do not have the coin to buy these things, and they're so expensive. I mean, Drunk Elephant products range anywhere from, I believe it's like $70 to like $120, and girl, I do not have that kind of money. That is so ridiculously expensive. I shouldn't even be talking about this right now. I have heard absolutely amazing things about their products. I've watched a bunch of people's reviews on them. My favorite review that I've ever seen on Drunk Elephant is Kimberly Clark's, because she goes over a couple months of trying out the products and really shows you what it does to her skin. And I definitely saw a very big difference. But it just comes down to a money thing. And, you know, I'm really into kind of self-tanning. I'm really into safe tanning. And I think that mixing a self-tanner in with a serum that not only provides skincare benefits, but will give you a little bit of a kind of bronzed appearance to the skin is a really good idea. And I love it. I would love to be able to buy this. You know, we would all love to be able to buy these ridiculously expensive things. You know, I want a G-Wagon, but I'm not going to buy a G-Wagon because your girl doesn't have money for a G-Wagon. And it's the same situation with this. I mean, granted, this isn't the same price as a G-Wagon, but this is like the G-Wagon of makeup, okay? Freaking Drunk Elephant is like the G-Wagon of makeup. You know it's expensive, you know it's luxury, but you know that you're getting a damn good product, or car, I suppose. But do you get what I'm saying? I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but I can't afford this. I'm sure it's awesome. I would love to be able to go into Sephora and pick up a sample of it, and I might just do that. But for me, it's gonna be a no. Also, I didn't mention this, but we don't have a launch date or a price for this product yet, but I can assume it's gonna be anywhere from the $70 to $85 range, and maybe they'll come out with a mini. That would be really nice if they came out with a mini for us common folk over here. This way I wouldn't have to give away my right arm and my left big toe for this product. So let's hop into a controversial one here, shall we? I'm sure everyone has seen this by now, and I am filming this a day after it was leaked and put on the internet that Jaclyn Hill is coming out with another collab with Morphe. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove Jaclyn Hill from this entire situation here, okay? Let's not talk anything bad about her. Let's not comment on her appearance or her personality or anything like that, because Jaclyn seems like a wonderful person. I feel like if you met her in real life, she would be an absolute sweetheart to you. So let's not talk about Jaclyn here, okay? Let's just talk about Morphe and the palette. Let's remove Jaclyn's name from this for a moment. And we'll touch back on that in a little bit, but for right now, it's just about the makeup. So it looks like they are going to be coming out with, I think it's 2 separate palettes. Now there is a photo of her holding up one of the palettes, and it looks like she might be applying her eyeshadow. And to me, that looks like a 6-pan palette, kind of like the Colored Rain 6-pan palettes. But I'm not 100% sure if that is just a cropped photo or if that's actually a little mini palette. But from what I can tell, it looks like they are for sure coming out with 2 different 10-pan palettes. And these palettes look like the Laura Lee palette. They kind of look like the Kim Kardashian palette as well, as far as the palette design and the aesthetic and the packaging goes. Now, I'm not sure if that's a 6-pan palette or not, and if it is, I think that's a pretty good idea, because not everyone wants to go out and spend a bunch of money and pick up a 10-pan palette, especially when it's colors that they have. So if they are releasing little mini versions of the bigger palettes that they're releasing here, that would be pretty cool too. But let's just talk about the ones that we know for sure are being released, and those are the 2 10-pan palettes. Now, I already know for sure that I am not going to be picking this up, and it's nothing against Miss Jaclyn Hill, it's just that these have a lot of neutrals in them, and I'm not into that, and I've said that a bazillion times here. I'm not into neutrals, so I'm just going to go ahead and not throw my coin at that, because I simply do not need it. Now, as far as the color schemes go, one of the 10-pan palettes looks to be more so of a, you know, very basic, warm, neutral, kind of orangey brown palette. And then we have a little bit more of an interesting one. It looks like the other 10-pan palette that they are releasing is more of a cool toned, kind of deeper, mossy, greenish blue palette, which is pretty interesting. In one of the promo pictures, it looks like there is a more so mossy, kind of mid-toned, baby pukey green, if you will, if we're going to use Jaclyn's terms. But in another photo, it looks like it's a very bright, vibrant lime green. So I'm a little confused on that, and that's why I'm kind of confused whether or not they're releasing 2 palettes or like 2 big ones and then 2 minis. So as far as that palette goes, I think it looks pretty interesting. I think it looks a little bit more unique than we would typically see, especially from Morphe. We all know Morphe loves to beat a dead horse when it comes to warm-toned, neutral eyeshadow palettes. The term beat a dead horse is kind of messed up, isn't it? I just thought of that. I don't really like where that term's coming from here. I feel like they may have stepped outside of the box a little bit for the more green toned palette here, but that warm toned palette is everything that we've ever seen from Morphe. And when I was looking in Trendmood's comments, like I always do because I am a snoop, I saw basically everyone saying this looks like the Jaclyn Hill original palette just split into two different palettes. And I'm pretty sure that the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette was a limited edition item, but then they made it permanent. I mean, granted, we all know that they were planning on making it permanent from the start, but they probably just wanted to build some hype around it. But it's not like the palette isn't already for sale, so I guess I would understand why they would make these two separate palettes that are very reminiscent of the original Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette if they had already discontinued the original big Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. I guess I would get that, but I don't understand why they are releasing basically just the same exact palette, just split into two. I don't understand that at all. It doesn't make any sense to me because people already bought the Jaclyn Hill palette. So many people have that original one, and I don't really know why they would repeat the same concept and repeat very similar shades. Why not just do something totally different? You know, I'm not really against having a second collaboration, but if the second collaboration looks damn near the same as the first collaboration, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, at least in my book. Now, let's go ahead and filter Jaclyn Hill's name just a little bit back into this collab here. So what I saw a lot of people talking about on Trendmood's post, and what kind of stuck out to me as well, is that I think a lot of people were really excited to see Jaclyn coming out with eyeshadows and to be sneak peeking new things. And because she had already done the Morphe collab, I think that people thought that that was behind her, that she was going to actually focus on her own cosmetics brand that she announced almost 2 years ago. She's been pushing back the date where her brand is going to launch for so long, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that because sometimes things can take a little bit longer than expected. People get tied up with other things. I mean, Jaclyn's done so many collabs and it can get very exhausting and take up a lot of time, so I totally understand that. But I think that people are kind of upset because they feel like her priority mindset was off a little bit. You know, we understand that you want to make your coin, we understand that it's important to do these collabs and to get your name out there, but girl, we already know your name and we know that you have coin as well, so there's nothing wrong with wanting to make more and to get more exposure. But I think that promising a brand and not really giving a whole lot of updates and putting a bunch of things before your own personal brand, I think is kind of in the wrong direction in my opinion. Now I'm trying to kind of tread here lightly because I know that there's going to be some Poindexter in the comments saying, oh my god, you're attacking Jaclyn Hill. Girl. Really? No one is attacking Jaclyn Hill here, okay? And if you believe that, you know, you're allowed to believe whatever you want, but that's just a waste of negativity. So let's try and turn those negative thoughts into some positive ones, okay? But I just think that she really should focus on her own brand. You know, if she wouldn't have announced that she was coming out with a brand a long time ago, then people would not be up her butt about this. But there's a lot of her subscribers that are very disappointed in her for choosing to go with Morphe for a second time over focusing on her own brand and focusing on her subscribers. You know, I think her subscribers are so loyal to her and so ready to just throw their money at her for her own cosmetics line and want to support her and want to see her rise up. But it seems like she is just putting so many things in front of her own brand and herself, and in a way her subscribers, because her subscribers are what brought her up. Her subscribers are what made her who she is right now in the beauty community, and it seems like she's just kind of pushing them to the side a little bit and focusing more on the coin. Now, I'm not really in the position to say whether or not that's bad, but I just wanted to talk about it because I know that people feel some kind of way about it. Some people think that it's totally okay, and that's fine, and some people think that it's kind of messed up, and that's okay too. Honestly, for me, I see both sides. I truly do. I'm not just saying that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who see both sides as well. So I don't think that it's necessarily a bad thing that she's coming out with this Morphe collab instead of her own line. And I don't think that it's necessarily an amazing thing either. It's kind of just up in the air. So I wish her the best with this collab, and I hope she comes out with her own makeup line soon because I'm intrigued and I want to see what she comes out with on her own. But for right now, I'm just not going to be picking anything up from this collection because for one thing, I'm not into the colors, and another thing, I'm not super into Morphe either. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and skip over these. Okay, so after I have chatted your guys' ear off about the Jaclyn Hill Morphe situation here for what seems to be 20 minutes. Wow, that's insane. But let's go ahead and move on here, shall we, to the next new makeup release. and that is the Face Candy Atlantis palette. This is going to be retailing for $12 and you get 14 shades. This is going to be releasing on June 12th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you can purchase this on shophush.com. Now, for me, I've never really tried anything from Shop Hush. I ordered something from them a while ago and I never got it in the mail, and I don't know if they charged my card or not because I was just kind of too lazy to look back and to see if they did. But I don't ever really know what happened to that situation, so I should probably look into that. This palette is very blue toned. You get a couple of greens in there, but it's mostly blue. Now, I'm sure anyone who watches my channel knows that I am not really into blues or greens or cool tones in general, but I can appreciate them coming out with something that is very reminiscent of the Tarte Icy Betch palette. You know, the April Fool's palette that everyone, myself included, lost their marbles over because it was a beautiful palette and then it ended up being an April Fool's joke. Yeah, that palette. Well, Face Candy has come out with a very similar and very reminiscent version of the Tarte Icy Betch palette. I am not going to pick this up because there's so many blues and greens, and your girl isn't really ever going to use blues or greens unless it's for a tutorial for YouTube or trying out makeup that pushes me out of my comfort zone here on YouTube. But that's the only time that I would really ever wear colors like that. So for that reason, I'm going to pass over it. But I think the price point is good. I don't know that much about Shop Hush and their quality. I've watched a couple videos here and there on the brand, and it seems like it's kind of hit and miss. Now, I do know from personal experience and watching videos here on YouTube that colorful mattes can be very hard to formulate, especially deeper, very pigmented blue tones and green tones and purples and whatnot. They can be really hard to formulate. So I'm curious to know and to find out if this palette is going to have good pigmentation or not, especially with those blue mattes. I'm very curious about that. So if you guys are going to be trying this, please do let me know in the comments below because I want to know. Is it good? Is it bad? Let everyone else know as well. So moving right along here, next up on the pay or stay away list is the new Colourpop No Filter complexion line. It looks like this launch is going to be releasing on June 14th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It looks like the complexion line is going to consist of 42 different foundations for $12 each. Looks like it is a lightweight formula, a medium to full coverage, and a matte finish. They are coming out with 3 shades of loose powder, which are going to be $9 each. There's going to be translucent, banana, and deep. They're coming out with blotting powder in 6 shades. Looks like you get a decent range from fair to deep dark, and then 2 foundation brushes. One of them is $9 and one of them is $8. So this is all about the complexion, which is cool because we haven't really seen a whole lot of complexion products from Colourpop. Now, we have seen the concealers and those are pretty decent. So I think that expanding on the complexion range was a good idea for Colourpop. Now for me, I don't really want any of this because I don't really use complexion products that much. I use concealer and that's about it. I also use powder, but my tried and true favorite powder is the Too Faced Just Peachy Matte Powder. Girl, I don't know the name of that stuff, but it is the powder that came out with the Peach Collection Round 2, the one that came out last summer. And I love that powder, and I have had it for over a year and I still have not used up an entire jar of it, and I have a second jar on standby for when I do. So I am not in the market for anything like that right now, but I think it was a smart move on Colourpop's part to come out with complexion products, especially because their concealer was so dang successful, and I am a pretty big fan of that. So I definitely see a lot of people being interested in this, and a lot of people are probably going to pick it up. So I'm excited to see what people have to say. I think it's going to be decent quality if it does keep up with the concealer. So I'm excited for Colourpop, and I think this was a very smart move on their part. So I'm excited for this launch, but I'm not going to be picking anything up. But this next one was very unexpected, and I don't think anyone thought this was going to be dropped. But alas, it was dropped last week, and this is the Tarte Trust and Fairy Dust collection. This collection consists of an eye and cheek palette, which is $39, a brush set, which is $42, a mascara, the Lights Camera Lashes Traditional Mascara, which is $23, Fairy Dust glitters, which are $9, Double Duty lipsticks, $18, in 6 shades. Dude, my throat is getting dried the hell out from talking this much about makeup. Whew, okay, let's continue. They also came out with a magnetic palette that is in the shape of a flower for $17, a blush for $29, a concealer brush for $24, and the whole vault for a whopping $110. I need some water after saying all of that. That was a lot. That's just a lot. So when I first saw this, I didn't think anything of it. That palette looks exactly the same as the Aspen Ovard and Tarte palette that just came out just a couple weeks ago. It looks almost exactly the same. I mean, it might be just a hair more pinker, but really, is anyone gonna really tell if it's just a notch pinker or a little bit more mauve than the Aspen Ovard palette, especially if you already have the Aspen Ovard palette? You're probably just buying a dupe here if you were to pick this up. Now, the palette was disappointing for me because I don't think that coming out with a fairy collection is a bad idea. I think it would be cute if it was done right. But actually look into fairies and look up a picture of a fairy on Google and look at the color scheme. Or hell, everyone knows Tinkerbell. Go with Tinkerbell themed colors. I mean, do something a little bit more interesting than this. Please. Please, Tarte. Please. I mean, you came out with the Icy Betch palette. We know that you have it in you. We do. We do. But we know that you just don't want to give it to us. And I don't know what those reasonings are, but personally, I am hurt. Because I know that you can come out with really awesome things and put together a great color story and put together colors that work really well and put together innovative stuff. And instead you withhold all of the really cool, unique stuff and give us basically repeats of things you've already released. Now, I hope that anyone doesn't take that too seriously. I'm just basically joking around here, but the premise of what I'm saying is true, and this palette really does kind of look like a repeat of the Tarte Aspen Ovard palette. Now, as far as the brushes go, I actually think that they are very cute, but I have never tried a Tarte brush before, and I've heard amazing things, and then I have heard not so amazing things. So it just kind of depends on what collection, I guess, you get from Tarte as far as their brushes go. And I do not want to take my chances or risk it for the biscuit to get really expensive $42 brushes just for the packaging and find out that they are not up to the normal Tarte quality. So I'm not going to be purchasing the brushes either, but I do think that they are cute and I think they're pretty to look at, but I know not everyone is into that type of thing. Now, let's talk the Z palette here, because this to me is revolutionary. Now, I know it's just a Z palette. Who the hell cares, right? Me. I care. Because in my spare time, I'm always rearranging and putting together Z palettes because that's just what I like to do. That's one of the reasons why I started doing YouTube in the first place. I was arranging palettes, putting them on my Snapchat story, and Georgia Harris said, "Why don't you make a YouTube channel?" And so I said, okay, I guess I will. But I love doing that, and I love having a bunch of Z palettes, and I currently do not have enough. Now, I have made makeshift Z palettes, I'm not even kidding, out of cardboard boxes, like little mini cardboard boxes that are flat, and I have gone to Michael's and bought magnetic paper strips, which are like $2, glued them into the little cardboard box, and called it a Z palette. You think I'm kidding? You just wait, okay? You just wait. What is this? This is a hot ghetto mess here, that's what this is. So I can use all the Z palettes that I can get, honestly. But I don't really like buying them because I feel like they're kind of spendy. But this Tarte one, I was immediately in love with. And I bought that so freaking fast. I didn't even think before I bought it. I just clicked and bought it, and next thing you know, it was on its way to my house. And it still hasn't been delivered yet, so I'm anxiously awaiting it because I am so excited to put shadows into it and use it and break it in and get my money's worth. But I think that the design of the Z palette itself, the fact that it's in a little floral shape, is so smart and innovative and cute. And I would love to see more Z palettes like this. Give me a heart Z palette. Give me a star Z palette. Give me a cloud Z palette. I don't freaking know. Give me a wine Z palette or a beer Z palette for all I care. I want more unique ideas like this on the market. And I think it's so cool and I love it. And I'm excited to get it in the mail. And this is just an example of what Tarte can bring us and the ideas that Tarte comes up with that they hold back on, because I'm sure that they have a bunch of innovative, cool ideas. I mean, the Icy Betch palette was really cool and new and innovative, and it turned out that was fake, so that was lame, but this is very unique and innovative, and it's an old concept. You know, Z palette's been around for a long time. They are bringing a new idea to the makeup community that I don't think we've seen before. And if you guys know of any brands that do sell Z palettes like this that are different fun shapes, please let me know because I would love to buy more. And the last thing on the pay or stay away list today is already an existing product, but it looks like they have just added some new shades to their collection, and those are the Maybelline Master Chrome Highlighters. These retail for $12.99. You can usually buy them in stores, but I believe the new shades that they are adding to the range are just available on Amazon.com. But they are adding in a deeper golden shade called Topaz that looks like it would be amazing for really deep skin tones, and they are adding in a beautiful pinky peach gorgeousness highlight that is going to be called Molten Peach. And I am so freaking tempted to buy that Molten Peach highlight. The only thing that is stopping me from buying the Molten Peach highlight is the fact that I already have a peach toned highlight. Actually, I have quite a few of them, and I already have a highlighter that is currently on its way en route to my mailbox. So I don't really need anything like this right now, but if you have been wanting to try the Maybelline Master Chrome Highlighters or you are a huge fan, the price point is awesome. I have heard nothing but good things about the formula, and they've added 2 new shades for different skin tones. So that is always amazing, and I love to see that they are expanding. But with that, guys, that is going to be completing this pay or stay away. If you are still here by the end of this pay or stay away and you have made it to the end of the video, I cannot thank you enough, because I feel like everyone would have left during my Morphe Jaclyn Hill rambling debacle at the beginning of the video. I don't know. I literally ramble way too much in these videos. I don't know what it is, because in real life, if you meet me, I'm pretty timid and shy and I don't talk that much. But then I start talking about this makeup stuff over here in front of the camera and I just go ham. But if you are going to be picking any of this up, please do let me know in the comments below, because I am very curious and I love to talk to you guys. I do hope that you consider subscribing if you have not already. I am doing pay or stay away every single Monday here on this channel, and I have all sorts of makeup goodness happening during the rest of the week on this channel as well. So if you are not already subscribed and you would like to be, I would love to see you hit that button down below. I hope you are having an absolutely amazing, fantastic, and awesome day wherever you are, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye!